Hello everybody, this is ZDS here, and as the title suggests, this will be a short video covering my top 5 favorite legendary Pokemon from the Generation 1 games. Instead of doing a huge video covering every single legendary and sub-legendary throughout the series, I've decided to break them up by generation, starting of course with the original 5. So without further ado, let's begin. Moltres is only number 5 because it unfortunately drew the short end instead. It's not like I hate Moltres or anything like that, but among the first generation legendaries, it's overall the most unimpressive. Probably because unlike the two other birds, it's the only one that doesn't have a unique type combination in its introduction, having its fire flying typing shared with the inarguably more popular Charizard. That's not to imply that Moltres is bad in any way though, far from it. It is an absolute nuke of a fire type, sporting an insane 125 base special attack, and its only lacking stat being its special defense, which still sits at 85. It's also gotten a lot of great add-ons to its moveset across the generations, giving it moves such as Hurricane, Air Slash, Solar Beam, and powerful fire moves such as Overheat, Fire Blast, and even Flare Blitz if you want to go for a physical set. And even more unique options in the form of Ancient Power and Extra Sensory if you purified the ones you can capture in Pokemon or Sea of Darkness. The only reason it's at the bottom of the list here is sadly because it had the least experience with Moltres compared to the other 4, and I do prefer the top 4 a little bit over this one. But overall it is still insanely good, and I don't think I can say anything really bad about it. It may come as a surprise to say that Mewtwo isn't my favorite legend. After all, it's the definition of an overpowered Pokemon. It has tremendous stats, 2 Mega Evolutions that make it even more broken, a move pool so vast only Pokemon like Mew who can learn every move in the game have a chance to contend with it, and it being one of the most recognizable icons of Pokemon next to Pikachu and Charizard, having started not just the first Pokemon movie, but 2 other ones over the past 25 years, and even several anime appearances. It's also sat at near the top of the highest levels of competitive play ever since its beginning, where it was a completely uncontended Pokemon in the first generation. But that's kinda what put it at number 4, overexposure. I am frankly sick of people wanking off Mewtwo, saying it's the only good legendary Pokemon, or that it's objectively the best one of all. I mean hell, if you love Mewtwo more than any other legendary, or any other Pokemon for that matter, then more power to you. But for me, I think it's time for the King of Red and Blue to step down, and give some of its predecessors a shot at glory. Zapdos being smack dab in the middle for me is mostly an aesthetic thing. I'm very conflicted by its design. On the one hand, I absolutely love certain parts of it. Its sharp, spiky wings that look like they're physically made out of lightning bolts, and a beak that looks so sharp it could drill through steel. But then again, some of the official artwork just makes Zapdos look kind of off, and sometimes even a bit goofy. However, what I cannot deny is that out of the 3 birds, Zapdos is undoubtedly the strongest, being the only one without a 4 times weakness to anything, and itself being super effective against the other 2 birds gives it a huge advantage. But much in the same vein as Mewtwo, where its viability and greatness are undoubtable, I also think it's time to take it down a notch. Team Instinct is nice and all for those that still play Pokemon Go, but if I'm being honest, I'm more of a Team Mystic guy myself. Articuno is honestly one of my favorite Pokemon in the entire series, easily fitting within my top 100 favorites of all time, which is odd for many who I've told that to. Articuno is considered the absolute worst of the 3 legendary birds. After all, it lacks the power of Moltres and Zapdos, and the defensive abilities, since being an ice type makes it greater defensive stats kinda go to waste. But as is usually the case with me, I love the underdog. I've always loved Pokemon everyone else thought were the worst, probably just because I know how it feels to be at the bottom of the barrel and everyone else laughing at me for being too weak. But with Articuno's Ice Stab and decent coverage on the special side with its Flying Stab as well, and getting access to more moves like Ancient Power and Extra Sensory, just like the other 2 birds, alongside a decent Water move and Water Pulse, it definitely gives Articuno some nice options in battle. Its stats may be geared towards defensive natures, but due to its typing, I always go with something more like a Life Orb set, a Choice Spec set, or a Hail Abuser set. Also, one of my favorite fun facts about Articuno is that it's the only Pokemon in the game that possesses both a move that ensures the next move is guaranteed to hit, this in the form of Mind Reader, and a move that guarantees a knockout in the form of Sheer Cold. So in normal play, they could be a nice surprise for the opponent, and you appear to be using just a boring old status move, only to take a bulky or sweeping threat out the next turn with a single strike. I want to take this beautiful bird and make her strong. Strong enough to brave through any thunderstorm, or journey through any wildfire, and come out safe. And most importantly, look damn beautiful while doing it. Through the process of elimination, it's obvious that Mew is my #1 favorite Kanto Legendary. And like many 90s kids who love Pokemon, it was the first Pokemon movie that made me completely enamored with this adorable little cat. Mew in the movie was just a fun-loving and playful little spirit. It didn't want to fight Mewtwo, it just wanted to have fun and enjoy its life. Now on the game side of things, that's where things get a bit tricky. Everyone knows Mew has been an enigma for its entire existence. From the story of pushing some truck in Kanto to find it, to having a Japanese exclusive event to obtaining it in Emerald, this Pokemon is and has always been very elusive. However, it was also thanks to how hard Mewtwo was to find that actually gave this channel its first propelling into relevancy. My video showing how to get Mew from Pokemon Emerald into Pokemon Omega Ruby was my first video to ever exceed 1,000, then later 5,000, and even 10,000 views. At a time when I had less than 30 subscribers, and my very poorly done guides where I had to record my DS and 3DS with my crappy video camera is what helped me become more recognized for the first time. So yeah, Mew deserves her #1 place in the future. She's adorable, powerful, and without her, a lot of you guys would have never found out who I was. So thanks, Mew. Let's keep getting stronger together, and I hope to see more of you guys in my future videos as well. Thank you guys so much for watching the video all the way to the end. As I stated in the intro to the video, this is actually going to be the first in a series of videos where I'll be chronicling my favorite legendary Pokemon from each generation individually across the series. From generations 1 to 8, I'll eventually create videos on each generation for the respective legendaries. But that'll be for later. So anyways, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. This has been ZDS, thanking you for the fun one video at a time, and I hope to see you guys in my next videos. Have a good night, everybody.